And hello, welcome to Off the Rails on this crazy train wreck called Picard Season 2, smashing straight into a dumpster fire near you. Oh, wow. What a hot mess we got ourselves into this time there, Mr. Gematria Database, my co-host here, and confidant. How's it going, Meg? How's it going? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why I'm coming through two different channels, so I'm gonna have to see why my microphone is doing that. Oh, I see. It just wants to do that. Son of a bitch. Hang on. Pain in my ass. Pain. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's being a pain in my ass. I don't know why it did that, but it did. So anyway, you, on the other hand, were not being heard. So just give me a second. Stay stuff.
All right, testing 1 2, testing 1
There
2.
you go. Yeah, right on. I'll turn you down a little bit. You kind of redlined. We're gonna try to have an actual decent day of sound. Hopefully with no dropouts. Hopefully with no drop frames. Hopefully with no issues. Because I'm tired of having issues with the sound. I really am. I'm at my wit's end. But looks like we're good to go. And man, I talk about dumpster fires, and I think we're cursed by this thing. This thing we call Picard. I don't know, man. Do you want to coach us into episode 7? Where do we leave off in 6?
Well, it's another, like, I don't know, Inception style type of thing, like where they go in the head, and then
like we've never seen Picard in a coma and someone go into his psyche before, like that old plot trick there that they did. Yeah, like we haven't seen that 5 times already in Star Trek: The Next Generation.
And it's more insight into her being a Romulan, letting us know ahead of time, like foreshadowing.
Yeah. Which they did. Then, which they did do that. They did that when she cursed in Romulan.
They revealed it.
Yeah.
They revealed it afterwards. But that's after the, that would be in 6 or in 7, in episode 7. In 6, they just allude to it. But there's the whole kid, like him as a kid. So okay, they're showing us all these flashbacks of him as a kid, and now they eventually replay those moments, but in his mind, and then it's all about him like revealing his father. He didn't really know his father.
Who was?
And he thought his mom
who was by the way,
was the greatest in the world. When it turns out she's just kind of like mental. She had like mental problems.
I didn't know his dad was Gaius Baltar. Oh my god.
Yeah, Gaius Baltar from the Battlestar Galactica, the series, the revert, what do you call it? Like redo?
I did a double take because I thought for a second it was Julian Bashir from
I did too.
Deep Space
Nine. I was there right there with you.
Like, it's like, did they do him up like a poodle? Did they do him like a poodle or something? Like, why does he look like that? And I'm like, wait, that's not Bashir. I was like, what?
Yeah, it took me a minute. I was like, okay, I just accepted it was Bashir for a minute, and then Ron set me straight. So we'll move about the.
Which is kind of
no, that's not
along.
Although I said it was the Doctor from Deep Space Nine, or not Deep Space. I said Voyager, which I meant Deep Space Nine. So
you were all over the place.
I was all over the place.
It's the dentist.
It's happening in my old age.
Yeah. Yeah, well, gets us all eventually.
Mm-hmm. You just start mixing shit up.
So, where do we begin?
And then you got Girardi, just trying to like do anything um, to get noticed in that world, in the world they're in right now, and like, I mean, it's like that's not what you do. I mean, I guess the Borg Queen doesn't give a fuck, so she's just like kind of taking her for a spin,
They had the
and then
lamest.
making her think she's in control, but then all of a sudden she like loses control, and it's all because of having a great time.
Yeah.
So when you get a great so note to self, like when you're having a great time, that's when the Borg Queen will take you over.
Okay. Well, to get into that, before we unpack that, I have to say this in a preamble, basically, and it's that this is going to be very. I think it's going to be quite controversial, but Star Trek is known for technobabble, and technobabble will save the day, and it happens over and over and
like
over and over again, right? But what doesn't save the day is bullshit stupidity and like exposition dumps when not necessary. And okay, first off, going back to the Romulan, the Watcher, or Taryn, whatever the Christ, whatever her name is. I can't remember her name either. But she exposed her Romulan ears after they came out of his coma dream state, right? You know why? Because her neuro-optic interceptor was out of power, and it is what hides her ears. Okay.
And then she said it's like some sort of, like it goes on, like it'll be there for like 8 hours or something.
Yeah,
so
she goes, I have to hide my ears like normal, like Spock did in the fourth Star Trek movie, like a normal person.
He didn't have the hair, so she has hair. So
no, he just had a bandana, but yeah,
right.
I'm just saying, like, I had to hide it like a real person because their ears that
There's probably Easter egg.
It's the stupidest reason I have ever heard in my life.
There's probably Easter egg that shit.
Probably is. It's probably a Gary 7 reference, and I wish they'd just stop. I wish they would just stop. The show never happened. It never launched. Thank God, because it would be a bastardization of both Doctor Who and James Bond. I would not want to see that, and I would not be happy to. And now, the other stupid exposition dump is back on the ship. This is something we've never heard before, by the way, in all of our years of Voyager. We never had the Borg on Deep Space Nine, thank God. But Star Trek: The Next Generation and Voyager, lots of Borg. Never once did we know that. The Queen digs endorphins. They need the endorphins to do their thing. I thought it was the nanites was just what they needed, and the nanites could extract energy and
well,
replicate.
We've never seen the Queen take over a person either. Like, it was more about her other things taking over other things. Like, like she already had drones. Like, she has no drones.
But the technology, the functionality should be somewhat the same. Hey, look, the show's got some expensive and well-paid writers. They don't need your help to defend it.
Well, they're definitely. I'm just playing devil's advocate.
I know, I understand.
Well, they're definitely like setting up for a Borg Queen takeover of the Earth.
I'm telling you what's going to happen. I'm telling you, this is my prediction. Oh, I've got a whole whack of predictions for you guys. Oh, yes, I do. Because we said that we were going to make and invent our own episode 7 outline and tell you and see how close you were. Nah, fuck that. It's too lazy. But what I did do,
we weren't really close.
What I did do though was watch 7 and go, oh my God, I know exactly what they're gonna do. Yeah, there's a theme.
Because they revealed a lot. They revealed a lot.
Yeah,
they were kind of just hinting at.
But I cracked the theme. I think I cracked the theme, and it's all about love's lost.
So you don't think he's in his head still?
No, not at all. No, not at all. Because it'll be something completely different. They'll be like in fluidic space next episode or some bullshit. You watch. Because they don't know what the fuck. Each episode is like different. Like they're treating each episode like a one-off, but they're intrinsically connected, and it's garbage. Like bad writing. Like it's like, oh, what gimmick can we do tomorrow? Like like.
Have you ever seen Earth 2? To sideswipe this conversation for a minute.
To go off the rails like we usually do. Earth 2, yes, I have.
Okay, like that, right?
that was a horrible show. I
I love
enjoyed
that
it.
show.
I
Love
enjoyed it.
that show.
I enjoyed it for a while.
Yeah, it's got moments, and then there's moments kind of fall out, and then it just dies. It's
There was
like,
a time jump in
what
that
happened?
show that lost me. There's a time jump in there where
There
the
is.
remember
There
the
is.
kid grew up to like 20 years, and then suddenly this dude. It's like, oh, he's supposed to be
Yeah,
the
but
kid.
he wasn't. It wasn't a time jump. He was
They just grow.
he was because he melded with those entities.
Oh, it growed him
He
up.
ended up.
We got all
Yeah,
growed up.
it made him. But in reality, no, they were like basically, really trying to grow up the character in order to change the interplay between what they did with the last season. And then that's pretty much what killed it, because they never made another season. And the way they ended it, they had like a cliffhanger.
Our antagonist there, that was
there was a little bit of Borg elements in that.
Yeah, I know. The antagonist of that show was the wonderful what's his nuts from Rocky Horror Picture Show. Trying to think.
Tim Curry.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, Tim Curry. Yeah, he was actually pretty good. Like he was probably the best act in that show.
He carried it.
And he totally was a mustache twirling. He was absolutely a mustache twirling.
But I like Danziger. Danziger was my favorite.
Well, I remember. Yeah, I vaguely remember it.
He was like the dad,
Yeah.
the quintessential like you'll hear his voice on like most characters in like various like anime or not anime, but like things that are animated.
Yeah, like they had stasis
like,
pods.
That's Danziger.
On the ship that they came there in, they had stasis pods and all that good stuff. Because didn't they have to go into stasis or something like for this journey or some crap?
I am not even. I only remember certain like parts in the.
Because all I remember is they had a bunch of kids on a planet. I mean, if you're gonna colonize a planet, I'd leave the kids.
Well, yeah,
in the
and there's also the entities. When the entities were like these dwellers that were underground and stuff, and they kind of like resembled Native Americans in a lot of ways, like the way that they did things and the reasons.
Yeah, and those weird creatures there, the two-legged hippity hoppity friggin', they looked like something of the Mario Brothers video game. Those creatures with the big friggin' gobs on them, the big yaps. And but I mean, I would have left the kids in stasis, just stay asleep for a while,
Well, I'm just saying, like they had this serial format where every episode would be interplaying with each other, like their process of getting.
That's the whole reason they brought up bad memories of the show.
Every time, every episode was different in reference to the people that were in it and who was in like the character development.
I got you.
The things that were going on, and what you got to learn about whatever was going on that planet, which was very Lost in Space at that point.
Yeah, it was a clone of Lost in Space. Let's be fair. That's what I got. It was like Lost in Space Junior. It was trying to establish with the Picard, like either have a serialized show. I think not lose anything.
True. Yeah, I think all of those would be that way because of the skinny, always like kind of
switched into the kind of gray fatigue style.
Yeah.
Then you could really kind of peg like a clear, definitive moment in time. And then peg that era. So like they did several timey-wimey episodes in Voyager, and even in Voyager there was an episode where a secret service kind of ship, like a long range scouting vessel, was out, I think just on the outskirts of the Gamma Quadrant or something like that, and picks up Voyager, and they were wearing the uniforms, and Janeway's crew was still wearing all the colorful outfits, and their jumpsuits bouncing around, and what's up with the gray, why so gloomy? Anyway, we're at like war and shit, like, oh, come on.
That reminds me, whatever happened to Janeway's other crew that ended up in like another place?
What, the Maquis?
Well, look, it was like a copy. Like they had like a copy crew.
Oh, they melted. Don't remember that?
Yeah,
they melted. They basically
Like not right off my mind. I just remember I remember her
yeah.
having them, and I was like, oh,
It was actually
I thought they still exist.
it was a
And I was
really
like,
good
oh,
episode actually,
that could come back.
because it starts off like normal, and you don't think anything's like, you know, awry or nothing, and then they start having some problems, like some of the ship controls and ship, you know, some of the machinery's breaking down, computers are having errors and stuff, and things are just kind of going awry, and just like, what the hell, and then people are getting sick, and then things are just starting to fail badly, and they don't know what's going on, and then they suddenly realize that they're the copies, and they were flying away from the planet where that created the copies. They had to
Oh,
go
that's right.
back.
And then they went into the sun or something like that, huh? Or
Yeah,
like into a star.
either they went into the star or they went back to back to that planet in order to. But I think they sacrificed themselves, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure they did
Yeah,
that.
I think they did too, like for the other crew.
Because I think what happened is they put out a distress call, and I think the other Voyager shows up. I might be conflating two episodes together, but if we look back, that's probably what would happen. Um, yeah. So back to Picard, though. Here's the problem I have.
Right.
Right, is that
Back to the matter at hand.
we have a clear and precise premise, which has to carry itself across 10 episodes. I understand that, yeah, you want to keep things new, and then you also have to kind of, you know, you got to ratchet it up each, you know, episode. You got to keep the guys guessing that, but they have a different gimmick. First off, like I said, like the what was it? 5 was the Ocean's 11 bloody thing. 4 was the introduction, I believe, of Dr. Soong and his not not Sochi daughter. What else? Like it introduces elements fine, but then you have these weird gimmicks, like okay, for instance, busting Rios out of the bus, you know. And did you notice, by the way, that 7 of 9 used an EMP to knock out a driver? I didn't know that worked.
I didn't really know. I mean,
They
in
use
my mind,
they
they're
use
like
the
from the
EMP.
future. So they basically
So,
have this technology
so,
perception that everything that we use and everything is like primitive.
so they use an EMP to basically darken
So
out the bus, and the bus drops.
so of
Like,
course they could just hack anything. You know what I
but I
mean?
didn't know an
Because
EMP
they
could
have
knock out a guy.
technology, or they also understand it because like they went to a form of schooling that we don't even understand yet.
I'm just saying. It's just funny because it's like someone in the writers' room, you know, can an EMP knock out a dude? I don't know. It does now. Whatever. That's what this show is like. It's just like whatever. Um, yeah, it's.
I think you're reading into that one deeply.
I was like,
As
what?
a tech, that shows your tech geekness right there.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying from a distance, it goes, she flat out said, we're using an EMP to knock out the bus instead of like, you know, they were going to pull Rios out while he's moving at a distance. And isn't the freaking spaceship isn't that in France right now? At the old
I don't
Picard,
even.
I think it's
Yeah,
in France at the old Picard
yeah,
estate.
I think so.
Yeah. And then
I'm not sure.
So you got that issue to deal with. They were going to pull Rios out of the bus while it was moving, when they know that they can't really track very well. So it's like, okay, we're going to use the EMP. Fantastic. And then she comes in with the second shot.
I also noticed that they're doing this kind of like Spanish style, that you know that they're Spanish people and Spanish speakers and things like that.
Why? By speaking Spanish? Yeah, you're right.
In the Star Trek universe, like, I mean, we know Rios is Spanish, but like now that he's in like with other Spanish people, or Spanish speaking people, there's there's
because
like a thing where you have to end up reading it, and it's like, okay, so I've seen this with other shows,
because CBS
like
is
Walking
available in
Dead. There's
Mexico.
Fear the Walking Dead. You know,
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
there's.
Because CBS is CBS Plus or whatever it's called is available in Mexico. So of course
I'm not against it. I'm
No.
just saying that I'm noticing.
You're against Mexicans?
Mm-mm.
You heard it here first, people. No, yeah, no. I think CBS. What is it? What's the station called? CBS Plus or whatever it's called.
I don't know. I have CBS Plus, but
I don't know what the freak.
What is that? Is that like a channel on the internet?
Is that the channel that it's on? I don't know. CBS all programs or something. I don't know what the fuck it's called. But anyway, whatever the channel is that Picard plays on, that I'm clearly watching it legally on, then fucking it's available in Mexico too.
Oh, speaking of
for pesos on the dollar.
That like did you ever watch you know, Our Flag Means Death yet?
Nope. Not yet.
Mm-mm. I watched all the way through.
Yeah.
I like it. I like the writing or whatever. I'm not doing the sign. I'm saying I like it. What do you do? There we go. So, I like it.
So here's where we got so far though. So we got the kid Elron, freaking Elnor. Elnor's dead. He's he's on a gurney in a drawer, and back on Rio's ship there. And let's take up a tally here. So 7 of 9 was sleeping with Roger or Rash. What's her name?
Raffi.
Gash. Raffi. Okay, so Raffi and 7, they split up. Now they're getting back together. So you got this kind of like a, kind of like a rekindling. You've got
like a will they, won't they?
Will they, won't they? Dun, 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 the Odd Couple kind of thing kind of kicks into my head every time I think of those two. And then you got Picard when he left.
They're cute together.
His where he came from, his time, where he came from, France. No, where he came from in his time frame. He was, like that chick had the hots for him, eh? His Romulan helper. We'll just do that in air quotes. And anyway, so she had a hot for him. He was like a stuttering idiot, and then basically screwed that one up. He wasn't getting any. And then he ends up going into the past, meets the younger version of her, basically, is what it is.
Yeah, but I'm thinking the only reason that is because he was synthetic.
No, I don't think so. I think he's just like he's always been like that. He's always choked.
And now he's not synthetic.
Oh, for 7 years. Therefore, Next Generation, he chokes every time. What I'm saying? Yeah,
I'm just saying.
He let Q run off with Vosh, and look at her. I mean, she was hot.
Yeah, but he got Vosh before that. Like there was a moment,
Q did get sloppy seconds. That's for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, he got sloppy seconds.
For sure he did. For sure he did. But
because there's moments.
Maybe that's the motivation.
Like, no, I don't want it. And then eventually, like, there's like they hung out, and we didn't get to see what happened. But it was like, the next day.
So you get a reverse situation now. So
you can tell.
So Picard goes back. He recognizes her as her, but she doesn't know him from a handbasket. So anyway, she ends up going inside his head. I guess now she's in love with him because she's been inside his head. So now she's got to wait till he gets back to the future so that both of them can go, okay, now we're all caught up. But meanwhile, Q has the hots for Picard as well. Well, not the hots, but he's always kind of there screwing around with him.
But wait a second. In the original timeline that we were originally in, did this all happen already? Is it like Back to the Future? You know what I mean? Like
no,
like in a sense.
No, because it's
happening. A parallel timeline.
It's happening outside in a parallel timeline. It's happening outside.
So therefore, the one that we saw, the whatever her name is, I can't remember now. The Romulan chick that's helping them in the future, in the past future, the original where we in our from our perspective it's the past, but from his perspective it's the timeline.
No. See, okay, I mapped it out. I didn't write it down because I don't have a pen, but I did it on the screen there with the friggin' mouse. And okay, so what you have is they start off in their regular where they come from, and then they go to the mirror universe in the future, and the mirror universe, they go back to the divergence point of those two possible outcomes. And then
right, and we found out the divergence point is when his ancestor goes into space.
Right. So technically,
or doesn't,
or does or doesn't, exactly. So prior to
Freud
that
and
point,
his cat.
so prior to that point, that chick is still the same chick. Either way it goes. In the one, she basically, he has her head as a hood ornament on his spaceship, and in the other one, she's his helper. And by the way, just so the audience is aware that we're aware, we screwed up. This is the Kelvin timeline, because the reason he has Romulan helpers is because Romulus blew up, and that only happened in the friggin' J.J. Abrams universe. And that's
okay, yeah, but still, if by going by your timeline perception, the woman in the normal timeline, when she's there, does she already know that information, or
yes,
is it
she
after
knows.
he goes back in time?
She
then
knows.
Then she knows.
She knows
because
yes,
she
she
goes
does.
to the other timeline in order.
She knows.
Whatever the.
I think she knows.
Because my point being is, like, say it is the same person, is she going to remember that far back?
I think that's why she's there. I think that's why she put herself in a position to be there with him, because she knows. But he's not caught up.
From a different vantage point, because
not for her.
Where
not
he
for
comes
her.
from over here, he goes over here, and then he goes back in time.
Not for
in
her.
In a different like real reality.
It's not different reality.
They didn't go back in time in our reality.
He went back in time to the divergence point. The divergence point where it branches off, it's two possibilities. If you take that down to the one finite moment, that is the one moment. She's still the same person there. And then she's got the memories. He doesn't. Now, when he goes back to the future, you go, hey, by the way, guess what I learned? Oh, now you're all caught up, eh? Let's bang. Boom, done.
Yeah, but the whole Back to the Future part is what I'm trying to get. It's like, after he does whatever he does there, he has to play it out in order to do it. Because if he like disappears from there and goes wherever,
I think it just played out.
That's going to be part of the divergence.
Okay, the divergence only creates the two realities. Right now, that one reality is still just the one reality, and it's the common reality of both of those friggin' universes, of both of those future histories.
Yeah, but we've experienced that they've actually been there for quite some time. They weren't just there like for a couple of days.
It doesn't matter. The divergence point is a divergence point.
So they created a life, like an actual pattern.
No, she got into his head, and that's when she fell in love with him. That's all I'm saying. It's very simple. This isn't complicated. And he didn't know that in the future because he hadn't been to the past yet. She knew it because she had already met him and fell in love with him. That's why she put herself in a position to be his helper, because she probably quit her job as a watcher and said, well, and Romulus is kind of gone, so there's that. There's Picard.
So wouldn't she already assume that already happened, like, from her perspective? And then when he doesn't answer whatever she's expecting,
that's why
she realizes that he hasn't gone back yet, if you will.
Wow. She knows the entire time that he hasn't gone back yet. She's just waiting for that to happen. That's why, she just lets him go, because she's waiting for that to happen. She's waiting for him to get caught up to speed. But he's getting pretty old and frail. It's taking his sweet ass time.
I don't know. We'll see.
But anyway, so there's that, right? And then there's also the whole thing between the Q continuum and Guinan's race, the Elorians. Now, with the Elorians, here's what I think is going to happen. I think, because they just, we missed telling the audience a part of this, and that's where Picard thinks it's a great idea to go see Guinan to see if they can summon Q. Of course, she's resisting at first, but she convinces her, because he's such a smooth talker in his old age, and basically she's like, okay, let's do this, and then they do it, and it doesn't work. For some reason, summoning him does not work, and he does not show up. But we already know that he has also lost his powers. So I have a funny suspicion that the rock paper scissors relationship that we have here with the Guinan and Q continuum and they're very timey-wimey. They're getting kind of Doctor Who-ish here, but I think what's going to happen is that somehow Guina's got the power to restore Q's powers. And then Q is going to use his powers to save the day because some crazy Girardi super Borg queen is laying havoc to the freaking human race in 2024. Was that the year?
You're like, was it the year?
Yeah, I get mixed up because 2040 is the year that Cochrane creates warp travel, and that's what the movie First Contact was based on. Contact. And that's 2040. 2024 was used in Deep Space Nine. Now, I don't know if we're going to see anything from the Deep Space Nine crowd show up. I mean, if we see a Benjamin Sisko, I mean, I'm out. I like Benjamin. Don't get me wrong. But I mean, if we see any more nostalgia, like it's so far, like all we've seen is nostalgia, and they're like massaging. How much more nostalgia can we massage into the plot or into an exposition dump or into this? So basically, we left. Picard comes to the conclusion, by the way, that he never really knew his father, the father that he hated so much and despised because he was never there. He also found out that his mom was batshit crazy, and that his father absolutely adored his mom and would do anything for her. So there's like a love lost, love gained. It's love lost, love gained, love lost, love gained. Elnor dead. And you also can't have this kid running around in 2024 cutting people's heads off. That would have butterfly effects like a motherfucker, if you ask me. But hey, I think the writers were like not comfortable having him alive. Going, I don't know. We're just. So I'm sure he would have behaved. He's a little too young for Raffi anyway. So I mean, there's no love gain there. And then again, with that aspect of it, with Raffi, we found out in an explosive 4.5-minute scene that her real son hates her guts, and then we just kind of moved on, and now this is like replacement son who just got killed. Did I laugh out loud? It's just to show tragedy, I guess. First, love lost. And then you got the romance between Rios and maybe just to show why she has like such a hard edge, and the Hispanic doctor and the kid, and he just thought it would be a great idea to invite them over to a spaceship in France. There's got to be some kind of there's got to be some issues there with. I know. I thought that was a little strange. Well, not only that, just imagine immigration catching. Felt a little ET-ish, you know. Like some, like a little, like, you know, because of the kid aspect. Yeah, like there's another show that was like that. I can't think of what it is off the top of my head. It was like, you're a spaceman. The movie. Oh. Like yeah. It was I don't care. No, I don't know. Yeah, he did say spaceman, but no. And okay, Rios has problems. Yes, we know he has problems because he had 7 different holograms of himself on his ship last season, and he was a little bit out there. But he is a trained Starfleet officer who would be well trained and primed in all things of the first friggin' what the hell do they call it now? I can't remember. I got a mental block. Look at me. First protocol. What the hell do they call that? The prime directive. Jesus, my brain doesn't. Oh work. Yeah. The prime directive, as it applies to alien races, as it applies to fucking up timelines, when you're dealing with temporal causality issues, and like he would know he would know the effects, like he would know what would happen, or the kinds of things that could happen. I mean, they just came back from celebrating Eradication Day, for crying out loud. Right? It's like, let me count the ways. But anyway, it's my firm suspicion that this is the take they're going to go with. And ultimately, why does this involve Q trying to stop Picard's daughter? a daughter. It almost seems like it's his daughter, but when they had that little talk, it seemed like they, like, you know, like Dad's like kind of like, you don't know who I am, but you know, it's like, but anyway, ancient freaking relative. Yeah, like why?
Yeah.
That I'm still unclear of. Is it just to get Picard to get involved? I don't know. Does Q have secret gay love for Picard? Who knows? And he's like, I lost my powers and I had to have him find me. You know, I don't know.
Something like that.
I didn't know what else to do. Guinan, can you help me?
Or maybe he's just
Oh, no,
he's
wait.
just he
Maybe the summoning did work, but he
realizes
he
realizes that finally that Picard's not taking into his advances, and so he's like becoming like a prissy kind of like
he's getting a little long in the tooth too. Like Q doesn't age, right? But he's like, Picard, dude, God, not looking so hot these days. What's going on, bud? You know,
right? So he's like, I think he's giving up now, like kind of thing. Like, fine, I'm not gonna pursue that anymore, kind of thing. But
what?
Or he's giving him one last chance.
Because he does say, you know, this is the last chance at the road not taken. You know, so one last look at the road not taken. Shows him his ass.
Does he want him to become Q? Maybe.
Oh, why not? He's already been a synthetic at this point. Well, shit, why not? Rock the boat, baby. Just, yeah. Everyone else has had Q powers, but Picard.
But Picard, exactly.
Yeah.
But I mean, in my memory, I don't think he's been offered, has he?
Yeah, well, everybody was offered. He didn't get the temptation. The only one who kind of flirted with it was Riker, really. Fucking, I remember where they turned Wesley into like a dude, like do a big dude. He just looked like a big dopey dude.
He's like, can I just not be,
Shut up,
be
Wesley.
a kid?
Hey, Mom, look at me.
I don't. He was like, I don't want to miss out on growing up, or something weird like that.
That was funny. Get some
or
Tom,
get
Tom,
there
get
there
some
on
Tom
my
Hanks
own
vibes.
time or something like that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, very Tom Hanks. Yeah, exactly. Big.
And then you get two slutty.
You know,
Klingon,
we
get two
have a
slutty
Zoltar
Klingon
now.
girls on Worf's shoulders. There, he's like, ugh.
We have a Zoltar in the building. Speaking of big.
Oh yeah. Oh, you have a Zoltar for real?
Yeah, we have a Zoltar at the Yadi's Cafe, whatever.
Huh. Well, go down there and go down there and wish us a good 3 episodes.
Back to the 80s Cafe.
I'm just trying to think.
Copyright.
No, I'm just trying to think of where else what else we got left with at the very end of that there, because we had the Rio spit back at the spaceship. Yeah, why would you bring her and the kid to the spaceship? Like, he's showing off. Like, does he want to?
No, well, I mean, obviously, there's like also.
Is he gonna try and stay behind? Is he gonna try and stay behind?
It's like some form of escaping kind of thing, you know.
I don't.
Like,
they were well got away.
Them.
They were fine where they were. They were just chilling.
What, at the hospital?
Yeah. Everything's fine. Everything's groovy. It was all cool in the game. Like 2 a.m. Nobody was doing.
I think he just wanted to show off to the chick. Really,
that's what I think too.
You know, like, yeah, just like, yay, this is my ship. What do you think?
Yeah.
And he also wanted to prove it, like, because he seemed like a lunatic. You know, like,
get the pink
and a
taco,
weirdo, like,
get the pink taco to go.
Materializing things like from nowhere. You know, I mean, what do you do with that?
Shore your spaceship.
That's me.
That's,
and, you know.
like I just say.
Well, I know it's not like he just does that. She doesn't say show your spaceship.
But technically, not only did he break.
I think they just wanted the shock value kind of thing. Like,
well, this is what I'm getting.
You know, they do the whole dropping the things. He drops the toy, and
this is what I'm getting at about the people who are writing this show, is that like this is CBS All Passes. That's what it's called, CBS All Passes or something like that. I think I nailed it.
I don't know. Maybe you did.
Yeah, I totally paid for it. I just couldn't remember what it said on the bill. Yeah. the writers of this
Either way,
show,
you got screwed.
the,
Ah,
totally no, but the writers of this show, I don't think understand things like there's a temporal prime directive that he would be well versed in, and he broke that. There's also a regular prime directive because right
well,
now,
like, but
even the
the
prime
Federation
directive.
hasn't been around for a minute, has it? Like,
No, but the thing is
um,
no, because Earth is not warp capable. They do not expose themselves to non-warp capable species, even if it's themselves. You know
oh
what I
wait,
mean?
I'm thinking of Discovery. Never mind.
Yeah, yeah,
This,
yeah. You could
that's a
keep
whole
that
different
show.
thing.
You could keep that hot mess.
Yeah, that's a whole other enchilada box.
That's
We're not opening right now.
yeah. That's a Pandora's enchilada for sure. But
Wait, so like
Rios would be into that. So
what time? Well, he's an admiral and all that. So is it like 25th century, or
for
what
who?
time is it originally when we start the card?
I think it's still the 24th century. It's still the
But it's like
24th.
the end or whatever, because like he's older and like
It's
he's an
close.
admiral.
Well,
So
it's the end of
how
him.
long? How long do you like stay a captain for? Like probably like the presidency,
Uh,
right?
until they figure you're good enough to be promoted. There's no set time really. It just depends on your. It depends on a few things. You know, if you're a really good captain, they'll keep you at captain pretty much forever. Because admiral is pretty much it's a desk jockey job. You're pushing a pencil.
Exactly. And like
Yeah,
they don't want, and like usually you don't want that. You just
yeah.
it just like gives you money
Look what
basically,
happened.
but you don't do anything.
They made Kirk an admiral. Look what happened. He ended up stealing a starship and then blew it up, and then stole a freaking Klingon ship. Went back in time. Then he comes back and gets demoted. And then they kept him at captain because they wanted they needed those
Again,
skills.
writers. Haha.
Yeah. They
Get
like
you every
even
time.
when they made the silliest movie that you could possibly imagine with under the Star Trek IP, it was still a better Star Trek script than like half of what I'm seeing. I liked some of the fun. There's been some fun, quirky moments. There's been some fun bits. I'm not gonna say it's been all shite, but the cohesiveness of the scripts. If they're gonna do an episodical thing, do an episodical thing. If you're gonna do a crazy overarching thing where there's a clear like I understand you're gonna have like monkey wrenches thrown into fans here or there. You're gonna have some weaves, some bobs, some left turns, some side roads. I understand all that shit. That's don't worry. I get it. But the way that they're handling it is like almost like one upping the last guy. I said it before, but it's like the writers, like, okay, well, here's mine. It's like, oh yeah, oh, wait till you see mine, and they just try to one up each other. It's like, see how much fucking Star Trek from the past we could chuck in here and stuff it in there. And, yeah, I bet you didn't see Gary 7 coming, did you? It's just a bunch of freaking psychos. And
Okay, settle down there, Rob.
but there's also another aspect. I don't know if they're sorted out yet or not, and it's the aspect of the IP itself because Paramount still owns a large portion of the intellectual property. So that means like a lot of the old uniforms, some of these things have to get licensed over in order to be used in the CBS all fucked up whatever it's called. uh, they're not like there's like a 30
Indeed.
there's like a 30% discrepancy though of what they can use and what they're allowed to refer to, and they definitely don't have any of the old writers. I mean, except for what's his nozzle there, um, the showrunner is trying to think of his name. It begins with a Z. I want to say Zuckerberg, but no, it's not. It's very close though. Anyway, he sucks. Everything's dark. He was basically behind the last season too, and it's like, hey, let's take one of the favorite Q board characters and rip his eyeball out graphically too. Just friggin' tear him to pieces. Did you watch the Red Letter Media review I sent you?
Not yet. No.
Oh, it's pretty funny.
I'm behind on that.
Okay, well, you know what? Well, tomorrow, the next day, whatever, we'll watch it and we'll 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 have a reaction video for you, crazy cats, because this guy has not seen any red letter media. So I figure, you know what? Why not expose him to red letter media with season 1 of Picard? Because he doesn't understand why Picard season 1 sucked so bad. We're gonna go down that road together.
Nope.
Yes. But yeah. Anyway.
Well, I thought it was just its own thing. It wasn't. It wasn't Next Generation at all.
Yeah.
This one had some Next Generation qualities to it.
Yeah. Well, this one here with the whole him stuck in his mind, it was kind of like a repeat of something they've done before, and I can't put my finger on it. It was very similar to that one where he lived like a whole lifetime. Remember being zapped by that satellite thing, and then he was in a coma.
Oh yeah, and then he played the flute.
Yeah. So it was kind of like that, like because he was in his head, but going in after him. I forget what that was. It was that the one with the aliens, those fourth dimension aliens or something? And they were caught. Oh, I know what it was. It was the dream aliens, the aliens that came into people's dreams and shit, and they had to, I don't know, they had to fight them in the dreams or some kind of crap. They did this already though, is my point. And we learned that mom was batshit crazy, like Hunter S. Thompson levels of psychedelic kind of crazy. You know, running away from monsters and stuff like that. And
just to be specific,
you know, it was good. But I mean, the whole father thing was like, really? It took you 90 years. It took you 90 years, Picard, to realize that maybe you didn't really know your dad. It took you 90 years. Anyway.
I know he was holding on to that for a long time.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Laris. And that's why she fell in love with him. And it's like, okay, now that we're all caught up, can you hurry up and get to the freaking future, you son of a bitch, so I can get laid?
Exactly.
Or could you do something so Romulus doesn't explode? Well, actually, she doesn't know that Romulus is going to explode later. But when it does, it probably is a bad day.
Well, we don't know if she can't see the future or some shit.
Well, we don't even know anything.
I mean,
because
can Romulans see the future?
No. They can mind meld though, and do all the things that Vulcans can do, and Vulcans can't.
I was like confused about the whole Watcher thing. I mean, it's like, so are all Watchers Romulans or
no? The Watchers are like they're like a arbitrary group. Like they're like a company, that hires people to do stuff, and they give them toys to play with. Yeah, I
see.
And that's that.
I thought they were like a species.
No, it's kind of more like a committee or like a kind of like what they were trying to do with that. What is it? Freaking Group 33 or whatever it's called.
Section 31.
Section 31, 33, whatever. What's in a number? Yeah, that. So it's kind of like that kind of a thing. I mean, that's what Gary 7 was based on. They were trying, like I said, they're trying to do that gadget, gadget approach to. It was basically Doctor Who. I mean, the freaking that Nero freaking interceptor thing, the neuro optic interceptor, is a freaking sonic screwdriver. If you see that Gary 7 episode, he does he travels around with it.
That's what they're doing there.
He does have a hot little secretary type assistant that's along with him. It's basically Doctor Who Americanized with a little James Bond gadget play thrown in. That's what it is, and it's like, no, I'm glad it didn't work. I'm glad it didn't happen.
Who is the character? I mean, who's playing the character?
I can't remember. Can't remember his name. He was good. Don't get me wrong. Like I don't want people to mistake for me not liking what I saw. It's just I don't like the concept. I think it's a bit much Roddenberry. I mean, he had some good ideas.
Okay.
He had some good ideas, but that wasn't one of them, in my opinion. And I mean, how many? I guess he was the first though to have some time travel story involving the Apollo
So
launch.
I was kind of disappointed. Sorry to interrupt. I was kind of disappointed that we didn't get to see like the interplay between Q and Picard, but they kind of set it up. So probably the next episode they're gonna
I
do that.
think we're gonna either see it this next one. I think that's gonna. I think the Q thing is gonna. I think Q and Guinan, I think, are gonna be
Guinan,
safe.
yeah.
I think that's gonna be safe for like 9 or maybe even 10. That's gonna come near the end because I guarantee it. Though it's gonna be one of those that saves the whole thing. All right, Picard, thank you. That's what it's gonna be.
Yeah,
I
you know
see
that
it.
was the thing about the episode in the past, the Next Generation, and even Deep Space Nine to an extent, is you get to a certain point in the episode, and then like everything just goes crazy and goes awry, and people are like almost dying and like things like that. But then by the like 10 minutes before the episode ends, it's like everything gets fixed,
Yeah, yeah.
and then they're just like laughing,
Well,
and
sometimes
it's pan out.
they don't bring back the people that died though. Like if they're cast members, they come back. If they're red shirts, they're gone.
Yeah, red shirts. No,
They're gone forever. Like yeah, about
they didn't
them.
really do the red shirt thing in Deep Space Nine or Voyager.
Well, they didn't have a lot of staff in Voyager, but yeah, you're right. They didn't do it very often on Deep Space Nine. They didn't really have to because they had so much variety of people on that station, and it carried its own thing. Like it wasn't a show about away missions anymore, really. Like even though they did do that, it was more.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
was
It wasn't
more
about that.
about exploring the intricacies of all these different relationships. It reminded me, or I think,
And the wormhole itself.
yeah, I almost think it was kind of inspired probably by like shows like Babylon 5.
It was kind of like Love Boat in space.
I never heard of it that way, but that's actually not a bad. That's not a bad. That's actually a very good description. Um,
It's basically what it was. Except it wasn't like funny. Like
hey,
Love
boss,
Boat
the
was like
hole, the
based
hole,
on like making it funny. But yeah, I mean,
the wormhole,
essentially,
boss,
because
the wormhole.
there'd be all these like guest appearances.
Mhm. One of the things I really I did appreciate was the whole Odo and the founders, and how we found out that the whole Dominion, the war against Dominion, were against Odo's people, and it's like, oh crap, he feels like a piece of shit now.
I know, right?
Oh, that's horrible. Yeah, but yeah, I like some Deep Space Nine, but. Picard, I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm gonna go. I don't know if I'm going for season 3. I probably will, because it probably be one of the last things. If there is a season 3, it'll be one of the last things Patrick
In
Stewart
the
does.
end, it's like what we're watching because it's the choices we have
It's
in
like all
order
we
to
got. Yeah,
remain Trekkies or Trekkers or whatever
yeah.
the fuck you call them.
Like we were saying
I'm
last
not really one
episode.
of them, but I'm saying like those people.
Yeah, yeah. I kind of consider myself one, but I'm not like a diehard. I just watched it a lot. Like I watched all of it. You know what I mean? And
I'm like with one, a diehard. So like I'm kind of like
yeah,
by consecutive or by omission or what do you like osmosis.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right, right, right. I'd sooner dress
I
up as a
I
Borg
become
though than
one.
I wouldn't put on a Starfleet uniform because
I have dressed up as
I
a
would get
Borg.
my ass kicked so fast. Like, just, I know it.
Yes, I have dressed up as a Borg. It was for like a
I mean,
Halloween.
I would do
It was
something like
fun though.
that,
It was fun.
like for Halloween or something, or a
Yeah, it was
party or
fun.
something. You know what I mean?
I
But
would do it for a cosplay too. I haven't actually though.
I wouldn't show up
But
in a Starfleet uniform though, because that's how a guy gets his ass kicked in Hamilton.
oh, I have shown up in Starfleet uniform, but I usually am like a Data or like Spock. So like I still have the makeup on.
So what do we think? Episode 7, yay or nay?
But I liked it better than 6. Does that mean anything?
Well, not really. But it's something. There were more. mm, There were some quirky moments in Seven that I didn't mind. I do like the chemistry between
No, I
Rios
don't.
and the
I didn't
Doctor.
mind the episode. Like
I
you're the one
the
that
writing is what's horrible.
doesn't like things. I'm
You
actually
just don't
enjoying it.
you just don't like things, Rob. You just don't like
Yeah,
things.
you're just a hater.
You just don't like things. I hate crappy, like I hate uh shorthand writing. Like I just when they're not really, there's so many missed
Well, like
opportunities.
to compare it to From, I mean, it's like it's
Night
years
and day.
away.
Night and
Yeah,
day
it's
is
completely a whole
like
different
literally.
like
But,
thing. So
yeah.
and like I don't know if I could watch Picard like from start to finish, like in a whole setting, like and enjoy it.
Well, in
You know what
that
I mean?
red,
I need breaks.
it,
I don't
it's
think I could sit
it's
there and watch episode
it's
after episode after
well,
episode.
that's just it. That's just it.
And
Because you
I
got to
could
think
do
of it.
that with Deep Space. I mean, not Deep Space Nine. Next Generation. I could just
Just
watch that over and over again.
watch them on shuffle. You know what I mean? Like jump around season to season. Yeah, I could sit there and just
Exactly.
have it on in the background, and I would be yeah, I wouldn't it wouldn't
And it
bother
was
me
all
in the
about.
slightest.
I think in that setting, that time frame for me, it was all about like contemplation. Like I would think about the episode way after I watched it. Sometimes I would think about it like just in the middle of things and like
Yeah,
or a different episode or whatever, and sometimes episodes would blend into other episodes almost
yeah,
in this rhythmic form,
yeah. And sometimes they
but
even
they
got
aren't actually connected.
and
It was
sometimes they
like
got clever. Like they had a
and they get
few.
mixed up in my mind.
Yeah, they had a few clever moments of brilliance, really. And like for instance, I'll tell you, when Tasha Yar was killed by the slime creature, there she was killed, right? And then a couple seasons later, we had a anomaly opens up, and the Enterprise C comes through it, and they're all beat up and half bloodied up and all destroyed, and they're about to blow up, but they get saved by the Enterprise D, and they end up sending the Enterprise C back through the anomaly to finish whatever it was doing because it was supposed to blow up. Its job was to basically to perish. Like that's what was on record as happening. So they send it
Exactly.
back, and when they go back, shit happens, right? Well, what ends up actually happening is that because when they came through, it changed all of the history along with it. So Tasha Yar actually didn't die. So she was back on the bridge again, but in a different capacity. And she found out that she's not supposed to be there because guess who? Guinan says, "You're not supposed to be here. You died." And it's like,
Yeah,
it's like, what? Yeah, that's a
exactly.
horrible thing to say to a person. You know what I mean?
I know, right? It's
But
like,
anyway, so she's like,
you're
well,
not
fuck
here.
it. If I'm
Welcome
going to
here.
die, why not put me on a ship? I might as well go down fighting. Well, she goes down fighting, ends up getting kind of a little rapey with some Romulan, and has a
And then has a
daughter,
daughter.
and then also another villain to talk to in the next following season. So that was pretty clever in the whole big picture of things. I thought the way that they handled that.
Right, and it gave the actress more roles.
Yeah, and a paycheck.
Exactly. What it comes
and,
with,
and
right?
also and also some well-deserving fans also gave her a chance to give them a little something, because there was a lot of people that didn't like the fact that she was killed off, like, and what did she do? She left to go do Pet Cemetery or something. She went to go do movies, and she did Pet Cemetery and a few other things. that was
Yeah,
the,
I think so.
that was the whole thing.
Bad choice. Well, I mean,
She just
obviously
didn't know
Pet
Star
Sematary
Trek.
did well,
She just didn't
but
know what Star Trek was. She didn't have any idea what it would be or what it even
yeah, she was
represented.
just an actor
Yeah.
doing her
Yeah.
role, doing the thing, and going on to the next thing. They got to like, after they act one
Yeah.
role, they don't just stay on that role and like wonder what happens. They
But
just go on to the next one.
she had no idea until after, like years later, like because she'd go to the Comic Cons and conventions and all that, right? And like after being brought back, she's like, I had no idea this thing was so freaking massive. Like it's just like absolutely mind blowing. And it's like,
Now she probably just goes from like con to con just to be
oh,
acknowledged.
She's an integral part of it now. You know what I mean? Like she's part of the family, part of the history. She's part of all of it now. She might not have been there all of the years, but you know, she's probably
Right.
been there as much as Barkley.
Right. Well, he only had like what, 2 episodes?
No, yeah,
But
way
you know
more than
what's
that.
cool about Barkley is that's the A-Team dude.
Yeah, yeah. He had like what? He had two key Barkley episodes, I think, per season in the last 3 seasons. But he had like an ongoing arc through the whole thing, which was kind of nice. And like he was a lovable character. And then they brought him back from Voyager because he's the one who actually was connecting with the EMH. Remember when they were doing a remote telephony with the EMH?
Yeah.
And
You
sending.
know, which one sticks with me is when he was like out of phase, and then there was like these other things and the creatures, and then he had to like communicate with the creatures, and he
Yeah.
eventually got into phase.
Because he was
That was
afraid
an
of that.
interesting
Because
episode.
yeah, he was afraid of the teleporters.
Yeah, it was a teleporter. Yeah,
Because he just
exactly.
didn't like
And
being out
he
of
got
phase.
stuck. He got stuck out of phase from the teleporter. It's like exactly what he feared would happen.
It's so funny. Yeah, I like the one where he was a supercomputer. They basically
Oh
he goes
yeah,
total
that was
lawnmower man. He
creepy.
goes total lawnmower man. And
Total
just
lawnmower man. But then there's a little bit of Borg elements in that.
yeah, a little bit. Yeah,
It's kind of Queen, like Borg Queen, like before Borg Queen.
yeah. Well,
Might have
okay.
even given him the idea.
But I will say those 7 nailed it for me as far as like what they're like. If these guys were first year like first year writing students, let's say, like the way they would attack a project like this would be to say, okay, we'll have a theme and we'll approach the theme from every angle and each character. How can we represent that theme with each character? And what is a relationship that they have that they could lose or gain that they have already lost, or vice versa. And and how much Star Trek can we smash into it? We're gonna have to requisition some
Exactly.
from Paramount. So let's make the list good. Anyway, I'm being a bit cynical. I apologize, but I'm not completely impressed with the show. It's a bit of a letdown. It's better. It's still hands down. It's a lot better than the first season. You're
Hands
gonna
down, not
watch that
hands up.
video. You're gonna love that. You're gonna love that. You're gonna love that video by Red Letter Media. But anyway, yeah, I'll be a thumbs down, thumbs up. I won't go 2 thumbs down on this one. But yeah, I'll give it 1 Picard. Well, there's an evil Picard and a good Picard, so I'll give it one of those. 1 good Picard. But that's all I got for you today.
That's it. Done and done.
And I guess that's it for episode 7. 8's coming along next week. Who knows what the hell's going to happen? But Guinan's in the picture. I don't know. It's going to be fun. I'm sure. And does Rios get laid? Tune in next week on Off the Rails as we dig into episode 8. And oh, by the way, we will be doing a pre-recorded video where we analyze the series from by the makers of
From
Lost. Because
4-letter word.
They like their 1-letter titles. 1 letter, one word titles.
1 letter.
One letter. A.
I. A. You.
Oh. Yes.
Uh,
All right, guys. Yes, it is kind of late, and we're all tired here. We're all tired of shitty science fiction. Somebody make something good soon, please. God damn it. Anyway, we're out, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.